Welcome, everybody. College football week 7 is in the books, and college football week 8 is here. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going over 5 things to watch in college football week 8. Okay, as mentioned, week 8 is here. Big week of college football, specifically one game that's going to be really popping out to people. 5 things to watch in college football week 8. Again, this article just goes over, a lot of times it'll be 5 games. Sometimes it'll be, 5 matchups or 5 different things, but it just gives more flexibility than just saying 5 games to watch. So we're going to scroll down and start it out with Penn State at Ohio State. This is the one people are waiting to see. Let's just get right into it. One of the best matchups of the college football season. Penn State is traveling to Ohio State. Nittany Lions are undefeated. Haven't been tested by a quality team yet. The best team they probably played is like West Virginia. Score 44.3 points per game, which is pretty good, and allowed just 8 points per game. They're near the top of the country in each. Drew Allar, the quarterback, who's the first-year starter, come a long way for Penn State and has 12 touchdown passes, no interceptions on the season. But again, hasn't been tested by these great defenses quite yet. Ohio State undefeated. Does have a tough road win over Notre Dame under their belt, so they have been tested in a different way that maybe Penn State has not been tested. Buckeyes score 36.7 points per game, allowed just 9.7, so just like Penn State, solid offense, solid defense. Kyle McCord has had a rougher transition to the quarterback spot than maybe Ohio State fans want, but he's been decent. He's passed for 1,651 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception on 64.1% completion. Buckeyes are going to be favored at home, but this will be one that has college football playoff implications, Big Ten East implications. Remember, it's the last year of divisions for a lot of these conferences, so if Ohio State loses this game, that means they have to win out and also get some help to maybe make the playoff, depending on how things go out down the stretch. If Ohio State wins, do they beat Michigan? Do they go undefeated? Does Penn State beat Michigan? Does Michigan beat Penn State? It's just a lot of different things we have to figure out here. Two very talented teams. I expect Ohio State to win. They're at home. If this one was at Penn State, I think it may be a different issue with Kyle McCord maybe not having the offense operating as smoothly as some other Ohio State offenses in the past. Number 2, will Riley Leonard play? So Duke's had a solid start to the season, 5-1, win over Clemson, and their only loss being to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard, star quarterback, out this past week with an ankle injuries. Blue Devils were able to get the win. Only completed 4 passes in the win, though. They'll need Leonard to play to beat some of the better teams on their schedule. And unfortunately for them, one of the better teams on their schedule is coming this week. They play Florida State in Tallahassee this week. Seminoles undefeated this season. Look like they could be headed towards the college football playoff. And maybe having to go through the ACC. This is a game they would have thought would have been harder. But if Riley Leonard doesn't play, could be a little bit easier. That's a game I think you can pencil in to watch this weekend. And if Leonard is out, maybe you turn it on for a little bit to see if Duke can keep up. But if they don't have him, only completing 4 passes against NC State, and NC State has some solid defensive players. Don't get me wrong, but only 4 passes. What are we going to do here? I think Florida State gets the win either way. But something to watch here is if Riley Leonard plays, it could be a totally different game. Can USC rebound? USC suffered their first loss of the season to Notre Dame on the road in Week 7. Offense turned the ball over. Defense wasn't equipped to stop the Fighting Irish because they were in bad field position. They should be able to get offense back on track. Defense struggled all season, so just, is it going to even out? What's going on there? And now they have to rebound quickly because they have a tough schedule in this Pac-12. They host Utah in Week 8, which we're going to talk about right now. Utah, 1 loss on the season as well. Came to Oregon State. Used to been winning game without their starting quarterback, Cam Rising, who had a knee injury late last season. Bryson Barnes, Nate Johnson have been kind of filling in. Bryson Barnes more of the pocket passer, Nate Johnson more of a scrambler. And they've done enough to win games. It's not great. If Cam Rising's playing in this game, I'm probably picking Utah. The defense does deserve a lot of credit for their success. They allow just 12.2 points per game, so maybe they keep it close. Maybe they can do what Notre Dame did. But Notre Dame also had Sam Hartman, who was able to complete some passes. I think USC is going to win this one just because we don't know Cam Rising's status. We haven't known it all year. But it's going to take a lot of different things going on than what happened last week. They're going to need Caleb Williams to protect the football, not take too many chances of just throwing it up off of his back foot. They're going to need the defense to play better, and maybe they won't be in such bad field position this week. And they might need some luck on their hands, too. It's not easy playing Utah, so we saw that last year with the Pac-12 championship game especially, too. So can USC rebound? I don't know. We're going to see it this week, and then we also have to talk about them continue. A lot of people thought they might go to the college football playoff. They have to play Washington and Oregon, down the stretch. It's going to be tough, tough in this Pac-12. Will Alabama get things back on track? Similar to the USC question, but maybe not as severe as USC in terms of how we feel about Alabama. Alabama's had an up and down season so far. Lost to Texas, looked like it could be a long season, but they've notched some nice wins over Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M. Made it appear things were getting back on track. And then last week against Arkansas, they only won 24-21, and Arkansas is a 2-win team right now. A team that I kind of believed in before the season, but Rocket Sanders has been hurt at running back. KJ Jefferson maybe hasn't been as good, although he did make a really good play against Alabama when he stripped off a sack and just ran and completed a pass downfield and helped continue their upset quest there. But we'll see if Alabama's able to get back on track. Their team doesn't have the talent to blow through the SEC schedule like they have in other years. They need to get other things back on track, and that includes just being more consistent. It'll be tough. This week they play Tennessee. Tennessee's coming to Tuscaloosa for this rivalry game. I know sometimes people don't like calling it a rivalry game, but at least it has some historical rivalry there. The Crimson Tide should be able to get the win, but this Tennessee team might cause some different issues here. We know Alabama needs to win to stay in the playoff race, but Tennessee's not the same as last year when they beat Alabama. They're not the team throwing it all the way downfield and creating these big plays, and they're kind of running the ball, playing solid defense. And Alabama's not playing like they did the last couple of years with Bryce Young either, so it's going to be a different style of game. Interesting to watch, and if Alabama wins, they can stay in the college football playoff race. All right, and can Clemson build some momentum here? Clemson hasn't had the season they're used to having. 2 losses already, Florida State, and then the other, one was to Duke. Both good teams, but, when healthy this season, those teams are really good, but when Clemson has built themselves up to be is not losing those type of games at all, especially with some tougher games down the stretch. And now they face some of these games coming up here. Week 8, they take on Miami. Hurricanes started off the season hot, and then, just lost 2 straight. They had the heartbreaker against Georgia Tech, and then they lost to Miami. Plenty of future NFL talent on the roster, including Leonard Taylor and Cam Kinchins on that defense. Not been able to put things together consistently. Clemson needs to get the win. But they still have Notre Dame and North Carolina on their schedule, and Miami just wants to get back on track here. It's really going to be like a crossroads type thing where we kind of see how these teams can move forward with their seasons. You'd like to see Clemson's offense play a little bit better than they have in the past, and you'd like to see Miami just not fumble away that lead against Georgia Tech and really just probably feel a lot better about their season. So those are the 5 things I'm watching this week. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below which 5 things you're watching this week. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see everyone next time.